Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Near Protocol token. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Now, jumping into the daily chart, if you haven't seen the previous update, by the way, make sure to check out the top right hand corner of the video. Now, jumping into the daily chart, you can see that we are printing a bearish cross where the 20 EMA is crossing below the 55, the yellow being the 20 and the red being the 55. So this is a bearish indicator on the daily chart, and usually when we have these, we do see moves to the downside afterwards. So this is your potential indicator of another leg down. And where is the next possible leg down? So we do have our swing high here at $7.62. And as you can see, once we have broken through that area, we haven't had a back test of support. So potentially $7.62 is your support area that you should be eyeballing in case of another Bitcoin pullback. And I do expect another Bitcoin pullback because the Chinese New Year is incoming, and in about 7 days after the Chinese New Year, we had a pullback last year in 2021. So I'm expecting a similar outcome this year as well. So I'm sitting on some fiat to buy into the dip. So yeah, like I said, the $7.62 price is your nice support. That's another 27% down from where we are right now. As you can see, I did give you this white trend line in the last video, and it was held for the majority of these past couple of days, but right now we're breaking below it, and you can potentially look for a back test of resistance here below, and that will be kind of your indicator that you're going to set a lower low here. But yeah, that's regarding the daily chart. And as far as the resistance zones, as you can see, I did give you this $20.41 price a long time ago, way before we even broke through the 1.272, I think. And that was perfectly met. And if you sold here right now, you're able to buy back in 53% cheaper. So this is why the fib works. It gives you the potential targets, and this is where we actually hit our head and pulled back down. So yeah, the bearish cross on the daily chart is a bit unhealthy in my, well, not unhealthy, but a bit bearish. Obviously, we want to see the markets appreciate. So you can see that the gap in between the 20 and the 55 was quite large. So that was another indicator in itself. Once the gap in between the EMAs is large, that means that once you come back to land on them as support, they're not as strong, and you tend to lose them as support. That's one way of thinking about it. So yeah, I'm going to look for this white trend line to be our resistance as of now. And long term, if we do continue with this bull market in 2022, I do expect us to get to these numbers up high here around about $40 at the second fib level. But that's still to come. I'm not a ultra bull by any means. I do like to take profits because I've been burnt way too many times, so I've learned my lesson. Now, jumping into the daily RSI. So I didn't give you this support in the last video. So on the daily chart, 36.13 on the RSI is your support level, because you've been bouncing off of this level for multiple times here. You can look here in April last year, you had a bounce. You had a bounce in July of last year. So this is a crucial support area, and we had a bounce here in December of last year. So as you can see, if you start bouncing off this area and you see the RSI land on this yellow trend line, potentially put some buy orders on this level, because you can potentially see a reversal from there. Now, if we do lose it and you did buy some here, don't buy all in. I never recommend buying all in at one price, because the price can always go lower. And if you tend to drop even lower into the oversold here below the index of 30, that will be your oversold, and that will be your best buying opportunity on any given asset. And pay attention to the white trend line over here. So the white trend line is for the daily chart. The pink one is for the weekly. We're going to take a look at both of them. So the white trend line, as you can see, we do have multiple touches here. So we should keep an eye on this as a potential resistance level. And jumping into the weekly chart, you can see that the pink trend line is also a very important resistance line, because you can see that we've hit our head on it 1, 2, 3 times. We broke above it, had a little fake out over here, but then we broke down regardless. And right now we're trying to find our bottom, and potentially we have found our bottom here on the weekly chart, because you can see that this is a level that we've bounced off of from previously. But as you can see, we either bounce from here or break lower. And I do think we're going to break lower, because I do think Bitcoin's going to have another leg down. Obviously, I want Bitcoin to appreciate, but it's just, you know, the market sentiment and everything, you know, people are just going to open up a lot of long positions right now, and they're going to get liquidated once Bitcoin drops back down. So yeah, that's I think what's happening right now. But let's jump into the 4-hourly chart for a closer look. Now, jumping into the 4-hourly chart, I did give you this rising wedge in the last video, and as you can see, we do have a target at around about $6.15, which is the target from this rising wedge, because the wedge was created over here. So that is your technical target, because you're going to start coming down, breaking down, and that's where you can potentially just wick off and come back down real quick. So have the buy orders ready and set to go at all times, because these flash crashes can happen in a span of 5 minutes, and you're just going to miss out the opportunity because you didn't have your order set up. I also did give you this Fibonacci retracement with the targets to the upside. So we had our swing high here December 27th and the swing low December 4th. That gave us the 1.618 target at $30.50, and we were getting close to the $21 here, 21.5 at the 1.272, but we broke down from there, and this was the 1.618 on the previous chart. So this is a smaller fib. The previous one was a large fib. That's why the targets were more major than these ones. But as you can see, we started breaking down from this rising wedge, and I did tell you that this is a bearish reversal pattern. And right now we have landed on the golden ratio, which was $11.34, or $11.30, I should say. Below that, we did have the 0.5 at $10.04. And if you bought in from there, you could have sold at 29% gains, which was not that bad, right? That was potentially a nice trade for you. And as you can see, our next support we are eyeballing is $8.92. On this fib, that is the 0.382, and below that we do have $7.72. So if we start losing this low that we printed here at the beginning of December, that would be bearish in my opinion. It just depends on what Bitcoin does, right? You can't predict all these altcoins, because Bitcoin's the king and Bitcoin's going to do whatever it wants, and the altcoins will follow. Some will not dump as hard as some of the others, but the majority of altcoins will be going down with Bitcoin. So let's jump into the daily chart once again, but we're going to take a look at some oscillators. So jumping into the Stochastic Rsi, as you can see, it's in the oversold, absolutely in the oversold. And this is a great entry point for any asset. So right now, based on the Stochastic Rsi, I would recommend you start dollar cost averaging, but once again, I'm not a financial advisor. And jumping into the MACD on the daily chart, we did have this bearish cross here January 18th, and this was right before I uploaded the video on January 19th. So I think I mentioned the MACD in the last video. Once you get the bearish cross, there is a potential, downtrend that will follow. And as you can see, if you look previously, once you had this bearish cross here, let's just compare that to the price action. So this was our bearish cross here, and we had a little pullback of around about 18%. Here, the pullback is much deeper. So if I take a look at that pullback, so this is a 49% pullback. So yeah, that's quite the pullback for the NEAR token. So yeah, if you want a dollar cost average right now, that would be perfect for you, especially if you have been buying at this rally to the upside. But yeah, that is pretty much it. If I missed out anything on the charts, please let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. I do post quick technical analysis over there. We do have a Telegram chat, a Discord server, and a Patreon. Make sure to check out our Patreon. That's a great little community that we have, and it's growing. And that's a great way to get more low cap jump calls, more mid cap, great cryptocurrencies. We do have buy and sell alerts in there. And yeah, it's a great way to support me and a great way for me to give back to those who support me. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.